This video is going to be a film study look at Marcus Williams and how he's played since returning from being inactive for 3 weeks. Of course, we know there was a lot of things said negatively about Marcus Williams after he returned to play against the Browns, and we gave up 33 points. He played 77 out of 78 snaps that day. I thought it was quite obvious that there was some restriction in his movement. One arm was pumping and moving more than the other as he was trying to move around the field. To me, against the Chargers in Week 12, he looked significantly more agile, able to break on the football. I think he's got 3 or perhaps 4 passes defensed in the last 2 weeks. There's one play that, for whatever reason, doesn't appear to have been given statistical designation for a pass deflected. I think when we have him and Kyle Hamilton, Geno Stone, Arthur Millette at safety, Marlon Humphrey, healthy Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens, this version of Brandon Stevens that we've got in 2023, Ronald Darby, even Rock Ya-Sin, who I don't think the Ravens trust to play certain split field coverages. They would more so prefer him playing man. That's a deep defensive back group. I don't think any of us before the season expected to be able to say something like that. And probably we didn't even anticipate having this level of defensive back play from such an injured group that's had so many guys miss time, even mid-season, which at this point I would consider us to be late season, and Marcus Williams appears to be returning to full health. There was small signs of it in the Browns game. One particular play that was pointed out on Twitter. I forget the Ravens content creator's name, but he pointed out, he's like, hey, going low, down on a tight end out in open field. Roquan Smith is there on an inside-out angle as well. Doesn't appear to be a guy who is completely hampered. I did think there was evidence in that game that he was having trouble moving around, and particularly with one side of his arm being stronger than the other. Certainly agile and being asked to do everything. This is Tampa 2 late in the game, I think third quarter, against the Bengals. Marcus Williams against the Chargers was moved down to the line of scrimmage more, almost like a rolled up strong safety at times. He does provide us versatility and the ability to break on the football, particularly downfield. I thought that was on display in the game against the Chargers. This is first possession. I'll run this one back one more time from the All-22. There's a lot of contact on Austin Eckler. This was a point in time where I was a little concerned about our physicality in this game because how many guys it took to bring Austin Eckler down. Marcus Williams is the guy who comes in and pretty much finishes him off here. Certainly moved around a lot more often, was making hand signals with both hands pre-snap, and definitely involved in the run game and more active on the deep pass threats like you'll see here in a moment. Now, this is second possession. He's walked down a little bit. It's going to be a scramble by Herbert. He doesn't actually really get involved in the tackle, but it's the ability to respond and react to multiple players that looks like Marcus Williams to me. It looks like the type of player that we signed, that we saw on film from 2022 when he was healthy and available and playing. To me, he's starting to look more like himself in the way that he plays. I think he had 7 tackles against the Bengals. As he moved there late in that play, I thought you could see that one arm was kind of, I don't want to say hanging, but was definitely restricted in movement. He had 5 tackles last week against the Chargers. Of course, with the bye, hopefully him and multiple other guys, Ronnie Stanley, Marlon Humphrey, are getting to complete health. This is a 3rd and 10 where the Chargers are trying to isolate a receiver from the other side of the field. And this is who Marcus Williams is. He's an undercut guy. Let me rephrase that. He's a guy who tracks the ball well. And I don't even really like that phrase, tracks the ball well. He's able to understand where receivers are, and then as the ball's thrown, adjust to it and know, I can go get this thing. I don't have to worry about him catching it because I can catch it before him. Now, in this case, about a quarter of a step away from an interception, but a fantastic deflection, if you ask me, on a 3rd and 10 to get a stop on the second possession. We blitzed Kyle Hamilton off the left side of the screen here, just so you know. Like I said, it's second possession. First possession, the Chargers were able to generate a big drive and get downfield on us and make it look like they were going to be in control of our defense. From there on out, these guys shut things down. It's a beautiful play by Marcus Williams. Maybe Guyton isn't going to catch the football anyway, but if anyone was going to catch it there, it was probably going to be Marcus Williams. Fast forward, second quarter, you have third possession here. Marcus Williams generally is lined up to the right. Another situation where we had Kyle Hamilton lined up to the boundary. I thought we did that often. Against the Chargers. Tight end motioned over. Hamilton stayed there. It's a 2nd and 17. This is after a sack by, I think, Justin Matabike. Brilliant coverage by Hamilton on Guyton, and damn near another interception by Marcus Williams. Let me know what you guys think. To me, he's starting to look like the same guy that we saw on film last year. Only thing is, last year, a couple of times, he intercepted balls like this. That's a high expectation level to have for a guy who, at this point, seems to be someone that's going to deflect most of the passes with his right arm. Apparently, he's wearing a brace that restricts movement on the other side. End zone angle, same play. You can see Marcus Williams' top left part of the screen. Like I said, it's great coverage by Hamilton on 15. I did a film study last week after this game. I thought he was amazing in this game. I don't pay attention to rating services grades, but if there's a rating service that didn't give Kyle Hamilton a 100 out of 100 or maybe a 98 out of 100, because I did think he allowed one guy to get open the end zone later on in the game, I don't know if I would be paying attention to those rating services at all. And me personally, I don't pay attention to them in the first place. Another brilliant pass deflection on a deep ball. He is an eraser back there at free safety, and he's an eraser at times. Even in the run game. He's a guy who I see getting involved in the run game more often as he gets more healthy. This is fourth possession now. So late second quarter, about 4 minutes left. You can see he's walked up. He had his mouthpiece out saying something to one of the other players. Pierce gets involved in the initial contact. He's involved late. I will give the end zone angle here. He's a fitter. Like, he'll fit where he's supposed to be. He's not one of those safeties that will overflow. Some people do it intentionally, maybe not at the NFL level, but so as not to get involved. He's a guy that fits in the right place. Super smart player, veteran. He's clearly communicating something with other guys right now. Sees the open lane. This is the same concept that a lot of people run in the NFL and college football. At this point, with two tight ends, quarterback is tossing the ball to the running back into the boundary. You have a tight end engaging one of the edge defenders. I think it's Van Noy. Second tight end is going to come and expand him. It's really, borderline cruel to do to an edge defender because he's engaging a guy trying to expand and get width and not give up the edge. And then you have this second tight end who comes in from the side and expands him even further. I mean, look how far out we are on a toss play. We're out to the bottom of the numbers. But Marcus Williams is a guy that will fit in where he's supposed to. 3-yard gain. Third quarter, I love this play from a Kyle Hamilton standpoint and Marcus Williams. You do kind of see the arm, I think, laboring a little bit to move it. It's a screen to Keenan Allen to the bottom side of the screen, bottom side of our screen. Kyle Hamilton doing a nice job on the number 2, which I think is a tight end, just driving him back. And Marcus Williams is the inside fitter, the guy making the tackle from an inside-out angle. You do see the arm hanging a little bit. I don't know what percent he is in terms of health-wise on that left arm. I'm sure he's wearing a brace that restricts, or a harness and a brace that restricts movement at some point to try to protect him. Credit to him, man. He's a warrior. I said that after the first game. He came back, and the reception for him was not great because we gave up 33 points and we lost the game clearly. And some people thought that aligned. There was a correlation or causation. I don't think so. I think whether Marcus Williams was there or not, the Cleveland Browns were going to be a problem for us that week. Early, fourth quarter, this is a very interesting play. Completion to the running back Kelly on a 2nd and 14. This is the play before Jadeveon Clowney forces the fumble by Herbert, by the way. Williams is up at the top side of the screen. This ball is completed down here to the sideline. Kelly almost steps out of bounds. Matter of fact, I thought he did for a moment. And Marcus Williams is the guy who gets. It's not a huge hit. It's not a. He doesn't actually get him to the ground. He just forces him out of bounds. But nobody else tackled him either. Marcus Williams is fitting in, even though clearly playing with a left arm that's not 100%. I think it's an amazing story, even though at this point there's been at least probably 2 balls where he could have perhaps intercepted them in the last 3 weeks if he had 2 good arms, if he was 100%. Ensuing play, 3rd and 14. Clowney with the forced fumble off the edge. Marcus Williams matching up with the tight end over the middle. He's used in zone. He's used in man. He's used a free safety. He's making tackles against the run. I'm glad that we have him back. I understand there may be people who still hold the same opinion that they held after the Browns game, that they wish he weren't playing. And I heard, saw social media posts, wish Geno Stone got all the reps. Don't want Geno Stone off the field either, to be real. But Marcus Williams at this point looks like a guy that we need on the field. Late fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, 2 plays here, and then we'll be done with this one. This is a 3rd and 6. I think he's going to match up On the outside with Keenan Allen, surprising that Herbert didn't go over there. They force-fed Keenan Allen so much in the game against us. And in most of the games I've seen from this year, they have seemed to do so. Marcus Williams understands 3rd and 6. I can't be cheating looking at the quarterback. I've got to have my eyes on the receiver, but he's not. I love that every situation they put him in, it seems like he's been in it before. He's not jumping this too much such that any secondary route from Keenan Allen might beat him. He has awareness. He can play strong safety, can play free safety, can play half field safety in a quarter split field alignment. Finally, the 4th and 6 call, the blitz by Arthur Millette. Williams at his customary position, seems to be communicating with Hamilton and the corner to his side, which I think is Darby. He's a part of this defense that's putting up a historic season, really. It's not worked out the way that he would have wanted to, nor all of us, in terms of Marcus Williams. We would love for him to have 5 interceptions and Geno to have 7 or 4 and 4 or something like that. It's not turned out like that, and hell, maybe he won't get another one the rest of the regular season. But me personally, I do trust Marcus Williams, and I think that the film is backing that up more and more as the weeks progress. After the Browns game, the film didn't necessarily justify him being on the field 77 out of 78 plays. At this point, I think it does. Feel free to let me know where you are with your opinion of Marcus Williams and what level of involvement you want him to have. For me, for my money, and for what we're paying him right now, what he's capable of in terms of erasing routes deep down the field particularly. I'm glad that we've got him out there. I hope that the bye week has been good for him, and we get closer to a 100% version of Marcus Williams to finish the season. I suspect that we're probably at 85 to 88%, maybe 90%, something like that at this current time. Appreciate you guys' time. If you think other Ravens fans would enjoy this film study look at Marcus Williams and how he's played in recent weeks, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.